The West Ham Massive are pleased to support Iron Supporting Food Banks. They are a group of West Ham fans and friends inspired by the work of other football food banks around the country. They collect food and cash donations for a WHUMUN food bank in Beckton, who supply sub-distribution centres in the borough 7 days a week and hand out several hundred 3-day emergency food packs every month to families in need. They are also working with other groups to improve conditions for vulnerable adults and children in the WHUMUN community. You can help by making a donation to their Just Giving page. You will find the link to this in the description section of the video details in this stream. Thanks for your support. Come on, you Irons.
Massive, everywhere we go, everywhere we go. Black friends from West Ham are massive, everywhere we go. West Ham are massive, everywhere we go. Everywhere we go. West Ham are massive, everywhere we go. West Ham are massive, everywhere we go.
Good evening. Welcome to the West Ham Massive, and thank you for joining me. I've gone a little bit early because I want to get my evening sort of underway. Please don't forget to like, comment on, and share this stream to your social media platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. Make sure you hit the bell icon for alerts and new content. Don't forget to click all. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you very much indeed for your support in this matter. And a little bit of housekeeping I always try and get out of the way. After you've liked and subscribed to the channel, if adult language offends you, go and do something else, because I'm going to be me. This is me, warts and all. And if I swear at any point, if that's going to offend you, you're probably best just to leave now. So that's that bit out of the way. So it's on you from this point. Premier League, match day 18 of 38. Our very own West Ham United facing the once mighty Manchester United. Not so much now. Haven't been for probably about 10 years, if truth be told, since Fergie fucked off. Playing them tomorrow at London Stadium. Keep your eye on the ticker below because it will change intermittently with little facts and information. A lot of it doesn't make for good reading for us, it has to be said, but there you go. They're the officials. So I'd like a little bit of your input, guys, in the live chat. And if you're watching this after the fact, then get it in the comment section below. I'd really like to get your thoughts on what we're going to be up against tomorrow. Now, obviously, we know what happened the other night at Anfield. We are where we are. We're not where we want to be. I don't want to dwell too much on that. We said what we said last night. Let's move on and crack on with the next game that's ahead of us. So, thoughts on the opposition this season? Do you know what? They've been really fucking weird. They've been a riddle wrapped in an enigma, wrapped in a puzzle. Really strange. I mean, they went through this little game where they managed to put together wins, and you started to think, oh, are they starting to sort of put together a little bit of a run, whatever? But they're just bang average, to be honest with you. They're a million miles away from the team that Fergie had for the best part of 3 decades and made them a dominant force in English and indeed European football at intermittent points. They're a million miles away from that. They're a shadow of their former self. They've got players in there that are they're just not the sort of standard of players of the people of my age that remember growing up through the 90s and in the 2000s. And look, don't get me wrong, I'm not a Man United fan, so fuck them. But they got players that, quite frankly, they should never be anywhere near Old Trafford. But whatever. So my thoughts on them this season: really inconsistent. Inconsistent in being inconsistent, and that's about it, really. They've got a couple of good players, but as I say, when you compare it to the players of yesteryear, they're a fucking shadow. How you doing, Cyclops? Hope you're well. They're a shadow of what they used to be, but does it give us a chance? Well, of course it does, but we're probably just as inconsistent, if we're being completely honest about it. We're probably a mirror image of one another, the respective teams that are going to go the lunchtime kickoff tomorrow. So, who is our opposition's key player? Well, this fella here, right? He came in, a lot of fanfare. Rasmus Højlund Striker came from, I think it was Atalanta. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure it was Atalanta. Came in, big reputation. But really, he's untested at Premier League level. He's come in, and I think I'm right in saying that he hasn't scored a goal yet. Well, I think you know what's probably going to happen next then, don't you? He's probably going to bang a hat-trick in, because that's just what happens, isn't it? That's usually what happens. You know, centre forward on a barren run of form, hasn't scored for 2.5 years. West Ham roll into town. You get the rest. You know, it's happened so many times. I mean, what was it? It was with fucking Fernando Torres, wasn't it? He went to Chelsea. He couldn't hit a cow's ass with a banjo. We fucking turn up at Stamford Bridge and bang, all of a sudden, he's back to the Torres of old. Fucking ridiculous. Yeah, absolutely, Cyclops. I'm expecting it, mate. I'm expecting him to score a fucking hat-trick. It's written in the stars. That is just the sort of shit that happens to us. You know, a team that's on a barren run, a player that's on a barren run, you know, and we fucking turn up, and it's the gift that keeps on giving. It really is. Who is our opposition's key player? As I say, Højlund, I think, will be, although he hasn't been. But I just think that because it's West Ham, because he's on a barren run, he probably will become the key player tomorrow. Other than that, I mean, Onana's been fucking disappointing when you think about the price tag he came in for, the reputation. You know, goalkeeper at Ajax, goalkeeper at Inter Milan in the Champions League final against Man City last season. He's come in with a big reputation. He's looked fucking awful. He's been absolutely shocking. I wouldn't have him in my fucking local 6-tier football team, Dartford Football Club. I wouldn't have him anywhere near them. Fuck's sake. And he's playing for one of the top teams in Europe, apparently. Fuck off. That's just ridiculous. How you doing, Eric John? Hope you're well. Hope you are good. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult. I don't know who their key player is, because I don't really think anyone when I've watched them, I don't think anyone's really stepped up to the plate and said, I am the man. I'm going to fucking drag this team by the scruff of the neck, and I am going to drag them on to 3 points or whatever. Nobody has taken responsibility. I mean, Bruno Fernandes is the captain. Fuck me. You're in a world of trouble if that's your captain. Fucking hell. I think I'd rather have Harry Maguire, and that's saying something. I would rather have Harry Maguire as a captain. If I was the manager of a Premier League team of the stature of Manchester United, I would rather have Harry Maguire. I'd rather have fucking Harry Enfield as the captain. Never mind Harry Maguire over Bruno Fernandes. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's a fantastically gifted player. But what a moany cunt, for fuck's sake. Just no, shouldn't have the armband. Absolutely fucking not. No chance. So, yeah, opposition key player, really difficult to say. This one's a little bit more straightforward, though. Which West Ham player will be the key to a positive result? Well, it can't be anyone else, can it? It's got to be Ben Johnson, right? Or Saeed Benrahma? What do we think? Maybe Pablo Fornals? Angelo Ogbonna? Any of them? No? Why the fuck did they play the other night? I said I was going to leave it alone. I promise I will. I just had to get that off my chest. Look, it's the obvious ones, isn't it? It's going to be Lucas Paquetá. It's going to be Jared Bowen. It's going to be Mohamed Kudus. Emerson. They're the staples. They're the ones that if they turn up and if they play their A game, we got a chance. Do I think that Thomas Souček should play? Abso-fucking-lutely not. I think he could be a very decent sub to bring off of the bench. I think he could be a really good player to change it up if the game's quite tight and delicately poised. I think he'd be useful then. Coming on for the last 20 minutes, not a problem. Play him in the central midfield. He'll be a passenger again, just like he was at Anfield. He'll be a complete fucking bystander. He'll be just watching the play go on around him and contributing jack shit. So, but he'll start. We fucking know he will. He's going to start. So, yeah, I mean, probably the key player. If I had to pick one, it's going to be Jared Bowen. I thought he took the goal fantastically well at Anfield. There is an argument, I think. Would he have got the time and space that he got at 3-0 down if we'd have been 2-1 down or 2-1 up or 1-1 or 2-2 or whatever? Probably not. But, you know, it's the old saying, you can only piss with the cock you got. So he took the goal well. He's in absolutely fantastic form. And and he deserves so much better than what he got the other night, as did the 6,000 that made the trip up to Anfield. Let's have a little look at the comments and see who is joining us. Budgie, hope you're well, mate. Hope you are good. GP, cheers, mate. I don't know about the best. If we're above average, then I'll take that, quite frankly. Let's hope Bruno Fernandes is playing. Like I say, he's a fantastically gifted footballer, but he just, all the diving, all the histrionics, it's like, fuck me. And that's your captain. Fuck's sake. Yeah, he can be the main man. And that's my point. That's precisely my point. Supremely gifted individual. He's got every trick in the locker. He really has. But it's just when you see him sort of like throwing his arms up in the air and whining and whinging at the referee like a complete fucking girl, it's ridiculous. And if anybody wants to have a complaint about that comment about, girls, look, whatever. I'm a 48-year-old man and I talk the way I talk. Don't like it, as I say. It is what it is. If we get a win, I will excuse Moyes completely for the Liverpool result. Eric, no, absolutely not. Sorry. I listen, look, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying I disagree. Okay. For me, the cup was a massive opportunity that we passed up. Now, look, as I said, maybe we'd have played our full strength 11. Maybe we'd have still gone out. But I'd have been comfortable with that. I'd have been absolutely comfortable with that. I think the fact that we went out with the starting lineup that he put out and the performance that we put out, I just can't have that, Eric. I really can't. And you look at, if we'd have managed to, by hook or by crook, get past Liverpool the other night, Fulham, Chelsea, Middlesbrough, I think there's a realistic prospect we make a Wembley final. And let's have it right. We've not made a Wembley Cup final since 1981, which was actually the League Cup and ironically was against Liverpool. Yeah, I can't, mate. Look, I say, I'm not saying you're wrong. You're entitled to your opinion, as am I, and we obviously agree to disagree on that one. Absolutely not. Even if we win, I would say our key, I'd say Areola would be our key to a positive result. I don't think he's playing, mate. I think that's the guy that's going to start. The fact that Areola played the other night, 4 of the 5 goals I can't blame him for, but the goal that pretty much decided the contest absolutely was down to him. That was just poor goalkeeping. It really was. So I'm not too sure that Areola's going to start, mate. Paquetá, if he turns up, he can create for the strikers. He absolutely can. I'll say he's going to be one of the key players. Hope you're well, Joan. Hope you are having a good day. This channel is kudos, mate. You are very, very kind to say so, and I do appreciate it. Yeah, I'm going to try and stay away from it. I occasionally veer back to it. It's difficult. The scar is still there, mate. Eric says, put it like that, I will agree with you. If we beat Liverpool, we would have been favourites. Absolutely, mate. And that's the thing. I think that we're doing it again. We're talking about the Liverpool game, but to be fair, Eric's brought it up. So, yeah, it's one of those. Look, it's gone now. I want to try and forget about it as much as I can. Cyclep says, I was at Wembley in 81 and a replay at Villa Park, so you know my vintage. You're not 21 then. You're not 21. Blimey, you've got a few years on me, because I'm as I say, I'm going to be 48 in a couple of days' time. So, I would have been about 5-6 years of age at that point. Bloody hell. Great team that was, wasn't it? Ray Stewart, Phil Parks, Trevor Booking, some great players. Yeah, fantastic. That would have been a great opportunity. I think it's a great opportunity we passed up there. But there you go. Let's move on. Let's move on. What would be your starting 11? I'll get mine out of the way. So, like I say, I think Areola, 4 of the 5 goals, can't blame him for. But the goal that essentially decided it as a contest, the second goal, absolutely rank bad goalkeeping. Now, I think that there's not much between them in shot-stopping ability. I think that Areola does have the better distribution, but I'm not entirely convinced it's maybe as good as we thought it was. So, and Fabianski's kept 2 clean sheets in his last 2 games. Can we drop Fabianski, having kept 2 clean sheets in 2 consecutive games, for a goalkeeper that's just shipped 5? I'm not sure. I would go, and this, like I say, just to frame this is my starting 11. So this is if I'm in charge, not what I think David Moyes will necessarily pick. They could be 2 different things, and probably will be. Fabianski would go in goal. I would have a back 4, and do you know what? I would mix it up a little bit. I would drop Vladimir Kufal. I've not been terribly impressed with him defensively. Offensively, good. He's getting forwards. He's putting in assists, all the rest of it. But a defender fundamentally is there to defend. I think that his ability to backpedal, that doesn't really serve us well. It doesn't. I'm torn. And I know that he came in for a lot of criticism. I actually didn't think he played too badly. And that's Ben Johnson. Now, all right, he was playing at left back. But I actually don't think that Ben Johnson did that badly against Liverpool. Now, you have to view it through the context of he's barely kicked a ball for us. He probably knows that he's off out the door in the summer. He was getting 2-on-1, 3-on-1 for a lot of the game the other night. But I don't think he played that badly for a player of his capabilities. I actually think he did all right. I think I'd be half tempted to put him there. Either him or Thilo Kehrer. I think I'd be tempted to. Now, will Moyes do it? Probably not. I think we know that he's going to go with Kufal. But I'd be very tempted to put probably Ben Johnson, maybe Thilo Kehrer at right back. Centre-backs, I think I would go... Mavropanos has just not worked for me. I don't think he's really sort of done enough to make a case that he should be considered as a option for the first team. Unless one of the first choice centre-backs are out. So an Ogbonna, just regrettably, no, I'm sorry. Love what you've done over the years, Angelo, but no, your time has come. So I think I would go Zuma and Aguirre and Emerson. Emerson has to start. No argument there. I would go with 3 in midfield with 1 dedicated defensive midfielder being Edson Alvarez. And my 2 central midfielders would be Lucas Paquetá and James Ward-Prowse. And then ahead of them, Kudus and Bowen are an absolute must. And it's then who takes that 3rd spot. Now, you could make an argument for Maxwell Cornet. You could make an argument for Divine Mubama. Some people might try, not many, but some might try and make an argument for Danny Ings. I wouldn't. I think I probably would go for Kudus. Maxwell Cornet. I don't expect that Moyes will. I really don't. But that would be... I'd like to go with those 3. And I'd be saying to those 3, I want you 3 interchanging. I want you 3 weaving around. So, you go right, you go left, you go through the middle, and then you swap around. Yeah. And I want you you 3 to just bamboozle the opposition defense and just take them into areas where they're not comfortable going and just get them, dizzy them, mix it up a little bit, change the problems for them. That'd be my way of doing it. Do I suspect that David Moyes will? No, of course it won't, because it means he's have to be fucking adventurous, and that's not David Moyes. Let's have a little look at your comments, guys. Let's have a little look at what you've been saying whilst I've been waffling on. Wolfie, hope you're well, mate. No, you're not too late. I just decided to press play, press record a little bit early because I just want to get my evening sort of cracking. Do you know what I mean? There isn't a lot between the keepers, Cyclops. You're absolutely correct. They're possibly... I thought there was more between them. And don't get me wrong. Look, Ariola's done all right. I got to say, there's been some games where he's been the difference between us getting something and nothing. But I just don't see that if you're conceding 5 goals, and like I say, the one that effectively sealed the tie was the second goal. That was really the killer. And I think you can't concede that. You absolutely can't. It'll be tough with the keepers. They both conceded 5. Well, they did, but I mean, Fabianski, look, watch that Fulham game back. He was let down by the guys in front of him. There was nothing, any of those 5 goals. If you'd have put Areola in goal, he'd have conceded 5 that day. There's nothing that you could have done. And as I say, he's kept 2 clean sheets back to back off of the back of that. Against Freiburg in the Europa League, against Wolves in the Premier League. I don't think you can drop him as far as that's concerned. Yeah, absolutely, Wolfie. Absolutely. The tactics or lack thereof are just absolutely putting a handbrake on us, mate. Really are. I would have to agree with Budgie and have Areola. Listen, again, it's an opinion. I'm not saying that I absolutely wouldn't have Areola. As I say, there's not been much to choose between them. I think that it's very, very fine margins. I just come back to the game against Liverpool. He concedes a goal that effectively seals the contest. And it was a bad goal to concede. It went through his legs. I'm not entirely convinced even if Curtis Jones went for the near post, I'm not entirely convinced he would get the shot if it was there. So I would go Fabianski on that basis. Yeah, I mean, look, whichever one gets in is what it is. Look, Fabianski is 38. He can't have too many seasons left. Do you know what? Goalkeepers go on for many, many years. How old was Gianluigi Buffon when he retired? 44? 45? Goalkeepers can go on a good many seasons. So he might have a bit more mileage in the tank than we suspect. Areola just come back from injury, so may need 1 or 2 games to get back into it. Possibly. Psycup says, wouldn't mind Johnson at right back. Yeah, there you go. As I say, it's it's a thought. I mean, I just think something needs to change. I just don't think that Kufau is maybe quite at the level that we think he is. That's just my opinion. Zuma, Aguirre, Emerson, yeah, they pick themselves. As I say, Ogbonna, no. Mavropanos, don't think he's done enough to warrant a starting berth. So Moyes out at the end of the season, possibly. Let me guess, the illnesses has gone. Yeah, it's all gone a bit quiet, hasn't it? It's all gone a little bit quiet as far as that's concerned. Budgie comes in, he says Fabs, Aguirre, Zuma, Mavropanos, Emerson, Kufau, JWP, Alvarez, Paquetá, Kudus, Bowen, 3-5-2. Ooh. Yeah, possibly playing a partnership up top. Mobile front 3 would be good. A target man like Mabama would be easily handled by Maguire and co. Yeah, like I say, I think if you had those 3 motoring around, Cornet, Bowen, Kudus, and like I say, get them. Okay, you go right, you go left, you go central, but you interchange. So you could start on the right, but you could go on the left, and then you can go through the middle, and everybody's sort of like buzzing around and just causing absolute pandemonium. But as I say, and as you said there, probably you're not going to see Cornet even on the bench. So what can you do? We can't take Man United for granted. They have good players. Maguire is playing much better. Yeah, I mean, look, like I say, I think they're a shadow of the team they used to be, but you have to factor in that they were an absolutely amazing team back in the day. So I'm comparing them to that. Now, they're still a decent Premier League team. They will be in the upper reaches of the Premier League. They're not going to get Champions League, though. And I think that with a little bit of luck, I think we could finish above them. I don't think that's beyond the realms of possibility. But we'll see. There's a lot of the season left. 20 games after tomorrow. GP comes in, says Areola, Kufau, Zuma, Alvarez, Emerson, Paquetá, Ward-Prowse, Boya, Fornals, Benny, Kudus. Wait a minute. But Bowen. I'm guessing that's the old predictive text that's happened now. I was looking. I was like, Boya? He's in management now, isn't he? And then I've realised you mean Bowen. Yeah, that's all right. Fornals. Not sure he's done enough, mate. Not sure he's done enough for me. But again, it's your team. So David, hope you well, mate. Tilo in, Kufal, Suchek ain't good enough. Yeah, I've left him out, mate. You know, like I say, have him as an option from the bench, not a problem. Put him on for the last 20 minutes, not a problem. Dino's off was 42 when he went in the World Cup in 82. Yes, he was. Dino's off. What tactics would you use, Gatesy? Right. Well, I'd go for him. I'd go for the jugular. Now, David Moyes probably won't. Let's be honest. He'll be like, keep in the game, keep it tight. You know, show them respect. You know, don't let them. Fuck that. Go at them. Go at them with pace. Go at them with raw pace. Like I say, that three at the front. You've got Alvarez anchoring the midfield. You've got Paquetá and Ward-Prowse pinging balls around, putting balls in behind the back line. Get them turning and facing their own goal, backpedaling. Honestly, I think that you can get at them. I would say to them, get at them from minute one and use your electric pace, movement, go into the little pockets of space, really try and get that ball moving around the pitch really quickly and tire them out. David Moyes ain't going to do that. As I say, the question was, what tactics would I use, Wolfie? What tactic do I think David Moyes will use? I think he'll use his usual pussy hole tactics and sit back and try and absorb it. And maybe it'll work. Maybe I'm saying pussy hole tactics. It's not inconceivable that he could deploy those tactics. And that might even be that we get the 3 points off of the back of it. And you could turn around and go, well, he employed those pussy hole tactics, Casey, and they fucking worked. Okay, but you know what? Even a stopped watch is right twice a day would be my response. You know, Fabianski was at fault for the Spurs goal. Possibly, David, but a little bit of water's flown under the bridge since then. As I say, 2 clean sheets. I don't think there's much more that he can do other than that. Eric says, I was thinking that Areola just coming back from injury. He's the future. I'd play Areola too. Like I say, there's not much to choose. It's just my personal preference. Green Street comes in. I was expecting a valid argument against, but thanks, Rob. No, it's fine, mate. Like I say, this is all opinions. You know, we're all football managers here, aren't we? We've all got an opinion. We all think that we could set up the squad, the team to play in a fashion that would be superior than what David Moyes has. Maybe we're right, maybe we're wrong. It's an opinion. This is just a sort of like a medium for us guys and girls to sort of all get together and sort of bat things around. And maybe we're all wrong. Maybe some of us are right. Charlie, hope you're well, mate. How are we doing this fine evening? Hope we win tomorrow, of course, but just can't get myself up for it at the moment after that nonsense in midweek. We're leaving it alone, Charlie. We've done it. We're going to try and stay away from it. I have occasionally got dragged back into it, but I want to try and stay away from that. Let's not mention it. Wolfie comes in, says, with the quality we have and how the average Man United have been this season, we should be able to cause problems. I again, don't disagree. If we set up correctly, if we use the personnel that I believe we should, and leave certain 6'4" Czechoslovakian lampposts on the bench until sort of like the last 15 minutes or so, as a sort of, you know, bit of blunt force trauma at the end. If the game's a bit tight, fine, not a problem. Put him on then. Don't start him, for fuck's sake. Don't forget, we must not respect the badge too much. And that's precisely what he does, though, Budgie. You know it. Especially in away games. He looks at the badge and he swallows. He looks at the badge and goes, oh, that's Liverpool. Oh, it's Anfield. Or, oh, it's Man City. Oh, it's the Etihad. Oh, I can't play like that. You know, absolutely not. They'll tear us a new one. Well, maybe they will. But you know what? Maybe we'll fucking tear some lumps out of them as well. Fucking all this sort of sitting behind the ball and just sort of being a complete fucking Nancy about it. It just doesn't work for me. Did you hear some flans last night? They were saying, well, what do we expect? It's Liverpool. I know people deserve opinions, but saying we should lose to these teams is just strange to me. I haven't heard that. And I guess you're always going to have a section of fans that are going to have a contrary opinion, and whether they're doing it because they believe it or whether they're just doing it to spark a reaction, I know not. Let's deal with that. So they're saying, what do we expect? Okay, what do we expect? Well, I expect the managers to bear in mind that 5 days before Christmas, 6,000 West Ham fans have made the not inconsiderable journey to Anfield and would expect to see a team that could be competitive. I don't see that there is an argument that any West Ham fan would have looked at that team sheet and said that that was competitive. That's what I expect. I expect to see a team that can be competitive. Now, does that necessarily mean we're going to win? No. Football doesn't work like that. We could play our strongest 11 and we could play them 10 times at Anfield, and the truth of the matter is we're probably going to lose 6 or 7 of them. Yeah? And the rest we are probably likely to draw and might fluke a win somewhere, right? And the draws, after 90 minutes in a cup competition like that, you'd get a penalty shootout, and maybe you'd win one of them. But if you go out there and you're playing a team that contains 4 players that have barely kicked a fucking football this season, and when they have, they've not exactly looked brilliant, then what do I expect? Well, I expect what we got. I expect to get absolutely fucking rinsed. And that's what happened. So it happened because David Moyes selected the wrong team. We should lose. Like I say, on a normal day, yeah, we probably should. But that does that mean that I would accept it? Well, I would probably accept it better if the team that was put out was what I consider to be the full strength team and not a sort of cheap knockoff version of it. I would like to see Fornals and Benny given a last chance. Oh, GP. I think that ship has sailed, mate. I think they've had more than enough chances. Fornals is broken. Benny, I mean, for fuck's sake, I was there at the Fulham game at Craven Cottage, mate. I don't know if you were or you weren't. He had a shot in the second half. I was in the Putney stand behind the goal that we was attacking in the second half, and he hit a shot, and I kid you not, the shot hit the roof of the Putney stand. It hit the roof behind the goal. That was a shot at goal. He's done. He's done. Sitting back may work, but it's always a risk against the quality they have. Can't see it, mate. I think if we sit back against a quality team, they're going to pick us off at some point. We're gonna concede a goal, which then means that we're going to have to counter attack. We're going to have to come out and play. And when that happens, then they're just gonna find the pockets of space, and they're going to take us apart. So I think we just need to fucking go at them and do try and take a sort of like try and get a few blows in. That's a question to GP. Doing okay on FIFA. Souček and Agard, Mav by playing Alvarez. It's centre back. Interesting one, GP. But then who do you put as a defensive mid? That's the problem. We haven't got a defensive mid that could do a job that's anywhere like what Alvarez can do when he's there. So you rob Peter. How do you feed Paul? Do you think Areola was poor because of how Moyes treats him as other players? It says David, if he starts Antonio, we're doomed. Yeah, it's a little bit of a strange one now. I'll tell you what, I'm going to do some team news. I'll tell you what, just bear with, right? So I'm just going to change that little ticker, right? So let's have a little look. I've got a little thing here just to sort of give us some team news. If anybody's interested in the team news, so just looking at this. So it says here, we will be missing a Michail Antonio due to a long-term knee problem, according to this article I'm reading here. Naya Figueira and Maxwell Cornet are both expected to return after illness. Maxwell Cornet won't be involved. I think we're probably expecting that, though. David Moyes will make changes to the side. Oh, will he really? Well, you fucking surprised me. Paquetá, Ward-Prowse, Zuma, Aguirre, Emerson, Palmieri, and Fabianski all set to return. Kudus scored 5 Premier League goals, set to feature in the final third alongside Paquetá and Bowen. As for Man United, Bruno Fernandes will be back following suspension. His return could mean that Sofiane Amrabat drops down to the bench. Now, this was a guy that we were linked with him, weren't we? Very tentatively as a replacement for Declan Rice. Thank fuck we didn't get him. He looks absolutely fucking shocking. Absolute dog shit. Yeah, he looked half decent in the World Cup, and he looked decent when he played for Fiorentina against us in the Conference League final. But I don't know what he's been doing. I mean, fuck me. He looks like a fucking Teletubby. Ridiculous. Scott McTominay will be moved into the central defensive midfield role. And as far as omissions, Terrell Malacia, Harry Maguire, Casemiro, Lisandro Martinez, Mason Mount, Jadon Sancho, and Amad Diallo, they are, according to this article, unavailable for selection. As well as Victor Lindelof, who's undergone a minor operation. Anthony Martial has said that he will return to the squad in all likelihood. He's had an illness recently. Christian Eriksen, he's back in training. He's had a knee problem. He's got an outside chance of being in the squad. But Diogo Dalot got obviously 2 yellow cards, obviously a red card at Anfield. He's suspended. He won't be available. So it looks like you're going to have Aaron Wan-Bissaka at right back. Marcus Rashford, is he going to start? Who knows? We'll wait and see. But this article seems to believe that it will be Anthony and Garnacho that will be supporting Rasmus Højlund, who is looking, as I said earlier, for his first goal in the Premier League, which, as I say, this sort of shit normally happens against us. So, yeah, that's the team news out of the way. Right. Let's get into this. Score prediction. Now, I tell you what, let me just go back. Hang on. Used to love the Man United game as it was 2 attacking sides going for it with lots of goals. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna see. Yes, I was trying to, but then someone says it, and then I've got to sort of dive back into it. No, he won't, and that is the frustration, isn't it? I'm still hanging on to Arsenal from 5 years ago, so not much chance of that. I'd go Fab, Kufau, Zuma, Aguirre, Emerson, Alvarez, JWB, Pack, Kudus, Cornet, and Bowen. Either that or just forfeit a left winger and play with 10 men from the start. We do it most games playing with Souček anyway. You're right. And absolutely not. I don't believe that we should sit back. We're the home team, for fuck's sake. And we need to try and force things, in my opinion. I think that we need to play as the home team and not play meek and mild football. If we get beat trying to win, I'm comfortable with that. I'm absolutely comfortable with that. If we're trying to win the game, if we're trying to get 3 points, and as a result of it, we don't, I'd rather lose trying to win than just sort of sit there and sort of play some, like I say, pussy hole football. Not for me. Doesn't work for me. Look, fundamentally, it's an entertainment business, isn't it? We pay an awful lot of money, the season ticket holders, to go there and watch football that is going to be mildly entertaining enough for us to fork out a couple of £100 the following year to get a season ticket. Surely that's what you want to do, right? You want to make it entertaining. You don't want people to be bored shitless and want to sort of like claw their eyeballs out at what they're watching. And that's how I feel sometimes. I feel like the fucking football is absolutely atrocious. Anyway, score prediction. I don't know, mate. I think if we don't set up right, they will pick us off. I think, and this is, like I say, this is a bang average Manchester United team. I would hate that, for that to be the case, to us to get picked off at home by a bang fucking average Manchester United side. But I could see it happening if he doesn't set up in the correct fashion, what I believe to be the correct fashion. Listen, this could age really badly, and I could look like an absolute cunt, because it could be that maybe he does set up the counter-attacking style, counter-punching, sort of rope-a-dope, sort of a football version, if you will, of the Muhammad Ali tactic, where he just sort of sits back, and bang, sort of thing. Maybe that will work. I don't think it will. I think we need to set up properly. If we do, I think we got half a chance. I mean, we beat them the last time round, right? Ben Rama scored the goal. And I think that it's not impossible that we could repeat that feat. I think we could beat them. if we set up correctly. If we set up like we did against Liverpool, we're getting our asses handed to us on a plate, and it's that simple. I feel really conflicted here. I think it's going to go one or two ways. I think either they're going to win 3-1 or we're going to win 1-0. And I'm not quite sure. And I think I'll probably have a better feel on which way it's going to go when I see that team sheet, like I did at 7 o'clock the other night. When I saw that team sheet, I had a pretty good handle on what was going to unfold, and so it proved. And I think I'll probably have a good idea at about 11:30 when I see the team sheet, who's playing, who's not, what's the sort of setup. I think I'll have a better handle. So I'm going to say, depending upon what unfolds at 11:30 when the teams are announced, I'm going to predict a 1-0 win to us or a 3-1 defeat. That's me. Let's have a look at what you guys are saying in the live chat. Cyclops says it's a Desmond. Two shit teams in a shit two shit teams at a shit stadium at a shit kickoff time. 0-0. I take it you're not hoping, you're not thinking you're going to get entertained. GP's gone 3-1. I'm guessing that's 3-1 to West Ham. I'm guessing Roy Keane headbutts the snow. Right, Roy Keane, that's his job. Souček back on the score sheet. Fair enough. Moyes has some weird mood swings. One day he can decide to use good positive tactics, and the next 5 games he'll sit back like a coward. And that's the frustration, mate. We've got players that can be so much better than what they're showing, in my opinion. And he just doesn't let them take the handbrake off. I'm pissed with Moyes, but I think Kudus and Bowen will save us 2-1. I hope you're right, mate. I hope you're right. Anyway, I am going to knock it on the head there. I'm going to finish this cup of tea. I really do appreciate you guys sort of pitching in and getting involved. Do us a favour. Do as it says on the old ticker. Make sure you like this stream, and do us a favour. Just click share and put it onto your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram, whatever, all that sort of social media bollocks. As it says there, please don't forget to like, comment, share, scream, subscribe, all that. Hit the bell icon. You know the drill. Thanks very much. We thank you for your support. Yada yada yada. This has been obviously our match preview of the Man United game. Thanks for joining us. Please don't forget to give your full support to the Iron Supporting Food Banks charity. And if you see me milling around London Stadium tomorrow during the game, please don't be afraid to come up and say hello and introduce yourself, and we'll have a nice little chat. Come on, you Irons, and we'll see you next time.
The West Ham Massive are pleased to support Iron Supporting Food Banks. They are a group of West Ham fans and friends inspired by the work of other football food banks around the country. They collect food and cash donations for a WHUMUN food bank in Beckton, who supplies sub-distribution centres in the borough 7 days a week and hand out several hundred 3-day emergency food packs every month to families in need. They are also working with other groups to improve conditions for vulnerable adults and children in the WHUMUN community. You can help by making a donation to their Just Giving page. You will find the link to this in the description section of the video details in this stream. Thanks for your support. Come on, you Irons.